Hello and welcome to another episode of Nothing Definitive. I'm Sam Carlson, and today I have a short episode that I want to talk about why bad things have to happen. Alrighty, so why do bad things have to happen around the world? Death and destruction and failure and economic collapse, slavery, murder, crime, hackers, asteroid impacts, stubbing your toe, getting your car broken into, tipping over, I'm drinking a beer right now, maybe tipping over my beer all over my laptop, whatever. Why do those things have to happen? Because, and this is a really interesting point that I've always thought about the Garden of Eden story. If the Garden of Eden story was true, and say Adam and Eve never bit from the apple, we would still be in the Garden of Eden and we would never have progressed further because it was like this perfect place where everything was awesome, meaning that there was nothing to motivate us to move forward. And I always thought that was actually a really deep point about that story, was that eating of the apple part was like, that was like God purposely doing that. He knew we were going to fail so that we would leave the garden and then have to face pain and struggle and stuff. Because that is ultimately this great motivator for us to better ourselves. Now, obviously, I'm not a Christian. If you've watched any of my other videos, I'm not religious or anything. But I've always thought that was a cool aspect of that story. But anyway, struggle and failure are like they're really the only things that push us forward. Without the prospect of death in the future, we wouldn't be that like if we live for a really long time. Let's say we live for like thousands of years, we would spend like probably centuries not really doing all that much. Maybe we'd spend the first bit of it doing a lot, but probably only like 20 years. Because I mean, think about how when you're in your 20s or something, or your 30s, you probably like, oh, I'm tired, I just want to chill. You might just like do that for a couple centuries. Because what the hell, why not? I'm going to live for thousands of years, I'll just do that shit later. But the fact that we die in a relatively short period of time, we are really motivated to haul ass so we can try and get stuff done before we get tired and die out. We also have like money is a really great motivator. The struggle of having to try and earn money and make a lot of money so you don't have to worry about it anymore, that is a great motivator for us to like get off our asses and do something, whether that be working or innovating or trying really hard at our company to, get higher up in the hierarchy or whatever. Motivates us very strongly. If you're, in a third world country and there's not a lot of food and there's a horrible dictator that rules over you, those countries will be very motivated to push for social change, to have a revolution, overthrow the dictator and get democracy in or whatever. They will be motivated on their own. In fact, that's why I always have like kind of strong opinion against foreign aid, because foreign aid is like, in my opinion, like, yeah, that's nice for the short term, but it totally fucks over these nations in the long term because they'll come to expect aid. They'll expect intervention if their dictator comes down with machetes and tries to hack people to death, which has happened. If we just left them alone, I mean, in Star Trek, there's the Prime Directive. That Prime Directive is a really good idea because if we choose not to interfere, which, trust me, that would be really hard. As compassionate people, it would be really hard to watch another nation go through a very bloody revolution. But guess what? We did that, and so did a lot of other first world nations. And what that resulted in was decades of social change and bettering ourselves. And we're still not there. As the United States, like, we're a great country and we have all this progress and stuff, but we have a long ways to go. We are still very animalistic. We are still very, in my opinion, really primitive yet. And we will get better. And the reason is because we have struggles. We have all sorts of things that are constantly bombarding us with negativity that we want to overcome. Um, so when you people ask themselves, or like, why do bad things happen to good people? It's because that's like the universe telling you, try harder, do more, keep trying, because you're not done. There's still so much that you could contribute. The system, a lot of times I find it just so like beautiful in a way, even though there's so much like negativity and death and destruction and stuff. In a way, the design of the system is just elegant. It's brilliant. The fact that it worked out the way it does is almost just mind-boggling. You can't even like, it's so hard to comprehend. It's so surreal. Everything just ties together so perfectly. It's amazing. Um, and everything exists for a reason, and that's why bad things have to happen. They have to happen because they will move us forward. Without the bad things, we would not be motivated to do anything. We would still be in the Garden of Eden, laying around naked, having sex, eating good foods. To a lot of people, that probably sounds really awesome, actually. But we would still be really primitive. We'd have no technologies. Although, now that I'm thinking about it, that doesn't sound half bad. But who knows what's ahead of us, I guess. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's like, what is the argument for not being there? I guess just all the marvels that we've gone through, even though a lot of horrible things have happened. Regardless, that's a fictional story, so we won't focus on that. Let's focus on real life, and we need those motivators. So, shorter episode today. Thank you very much for listening, as always, and see you next time.